right, well, we'll have him back. All right, keep it going for your next comic. When I was promoting the show, I wrote a short little bio for this next comic. And he just informed me that none of these things are true. But I'm going to bring him up to it anyway. This guy is a multiple-time winner of Omaha's Clash of the Comics. He's been nominated for the OEAA Comedian of the Year Award. Please welcome Sakaris.
Alright, how are we doing? Like James mentioned, those two accolades are not true, but they hope to be, so thank you for the ego boost, James. It's my first time on the Zoo Bar stage in about 6 years, so we're going to have some fun here tonight. Yeah. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. The world will soon celebrate Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, and I have cerebral palsy, so I'm very aware of it. It's a brain disorder that affects the muscles. It affects my hand gestures, like I can't give the peace sign without looking all alien-like. And I can't flip someone off and look like I'm gonna stab them. It affected me socially too, like there were cool nicknames on the playground like Big Bad Tony or Knuckles. Mine was Helmet Boy. But on the plus side, having cerebral palsy means that I never get offended when someone says, "Hey, what are you getting all bent out of shape for?" I'm like, "Oh, no reason, I was just born that way." I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, but this one time, my friends made me take a shot of an unholy concoction known as Rumplemints, and it was disgusting. It tasted like Altoids and fascism. And even if I did drink, I don't know that much about it, because the only draft I've ever experienced is over. I'm sure some of us can sympathize. And another comic was like, "Dude, you should smoke weed." And he followed it up with, "It would cure your cerebral palsy." The joke almost writes itself because there is no cure. And another comic was like, "You know, you should really try Adderall and Molly." And I was like, "Well, my ADD is pretty out of control, but I'm always up to meeting girls." And I've never done drugs, so the only tripping I do is over my own feet. Glad you guys are with me on that. I graduated from a community college, so I guess you could say I reached for the sky's limit. I went to Iowa Western. Our mascot was the Reavers, was a type of pirate that got drunk, partied, and caused trouble everywhere they went. And I was like, well, we're in college, so that makes a lot of sense. The college is in Council Bluffs, so that makes even more sense. And they sure did drink a lot of PBR. I'm glad you agree along with me that that was a stupid one. And you know, this is how good that associate's degree is working out for me. Like, I had a walking route to the bus stop to go downtown for my job, and I would always pass by this dispensary, and there were these two beautiful girls out front with bandanas and flower dresses. They were twirling signs for the place. They were always very stoic. They never said anything, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to go up and talk to them right away, you know. Put out the vibe, work on my mojo a little bit. It took me 6 months before I realized they were in fact mannequins. So that's the last time I walked by that CBD dispensary. I turned 38 back in June, and hold your applause, it's not great, and I'll tell you why. Like, I've noticed some changes already. Like, if 28-year-old me went to get a massage from a hot chick, at the end he'd say stuff like, was it as good for you as it was for me? But 38-year-old me goes to get a massage from a hot chick, and at the end he says stuff like, is there going to be a copay next time? And you ever get reminders from the universe of where you're at in life, whether you want them or not? Like, I was into frozen pizza recently. I picked one out and it said right on the box, and I'm not making this up, "I'm single." And I looked right at it and I went, "Me too, pizza, me too." But I am single. That's about the reaction that deserves. And a lot of factors went into my last breakup, but one of them had to be my OCD, because she'd be like, "Baby, when we finally do have sex, you're gonna be amazing. We're gonna do it like 7 times." And I was like, "Oh, that's an odd number." I'm looking at Deb, but can we just bump it up to 8? You know, and I'm trying to get back into the dating thing, and I think it's what you like, not what you are like. Like, this girl told me she was really into BDSM, and I was like, battles, dragons, swords, and magic? Let's fucking go! Turns out that's not what that is. And, you know, I'm trying to get more into my interests. Like, I'm a big Star Trek fan, Next Generation specifically, and that. And any serious Star Trek fan will tell you that the neutral zone is way worse than the friend zone. With the friend zone, you have to deal with the devastation of rejection, and with the neutral zone, you have to deal with Romulans, and they don't take shit from anybody. I need to get laid. Speaking of which, sex is great, or so I'm told. But have you guys ever gotten back into a routine after being away from him for a really long time? Woof. Apparently that joke only works when I wear these shirts. And I vacationed this summer on the New Jersey shore with my family for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And every time I go back down to the East Coast, it teaches me to never doubt Midwest nice. Because on the plane going there, I had a little trouble getting my bag into the overhead bin. So the lady next to me goes, "Are you special? Are you special? Do you need me to do it for you?" You know, I never thought I'd see a Karen in the wild, but that's what happened. But on the plane coming back, I had trouble with my bag in the overhead. And the guy not only helped me, but he was nice about it. And before we took off, he switched seats with somebody to give me more room. I mean, you guys got to play Mario Kart on Game Boy Advance in peace, right? That was a new one, judging by your reaction. Any wrestling fans in the house tonight?
Yeah!
I am a part of the local professional wrestling scene, and I've had a lot of weird experiences on these indie wrestling shows. Like, I've been on shows where the concession stand was literally a woman handing out gum. I've been on shows where the booming sound system was a microphone held up to a boombox. And I've been on shows where someone forgot the ring bell, so actually had to go ding ding into the mic. And you know you're doing a show in a small town when the bar across the street from the venue features a one-legged, one-man band doing AC/DC covers. I'm a little disappointed he wasn't called Thunderstump, but what are you gonna do? That joke was brought to you by the booming progressive metropolis of Milo, Iowa, population 900. And one of my favorite things to do is no matter what Chinese fortune I get, just add "in bed" to the end of it. Like, I had one last week that said, "Politeness costs nothing but gains everything in bed." And I can picture it now. "Pardon me, madame, may I have this fuck?" But you do what you can to amuse yourself. And I like how naive our parents can get sometimes as they get older. Because my mom dropped me off at my place one time and she was like, "So what's on your bucket list for tonight?" And I was like, "Living through the night, Ma." And being on these long road trips, like one night I performed in Sioux City, Iowa. Not a great looking group of folks. I mean, they were spitting tobacco, shooting guns, hitting their kids, and the men were even worse. But I was so delirious on the road trip back, I was like, "Are we back in Nebraska yet? Are we back in Nebraska?" And I just wasn't sure. Until we stopped at a gas station and I saw a guy out front snorting the shavings off of a scratch off. And I was like, "Well, we're back in Nebraska, that's for sure." I worked in a call center for 12 years and still managed to maintain my sanity. And I found out pretty quick that you know you've worked in a call center for way too long when someone hugs you and the first thing out of your mouth is, "Thank you for holding me." It came in handy whenever I got into an argument because someone would be yelling at me, cussing up a storm, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Please try again. But I knew I was in trouble when I had a girl in bed with me. That's not the joke. Now, let's not kid ourselves. I'm fully vaxxed, sharp as a tack, and tasty like a snack. But out of nowhere, I just panicked and went, before we continue, I must advise you that for quality purposes, the sex may be monitored or recorded. And I'll end on this. And I am, as I mentioned, a big wrestling fan, and like losing Hulk Hogan recently was like losing a brother. And I realized that some of my favorite wrestlers could never be anything else. Like, what if Macho Man Randy Savage hung up the trunks and the boots and became, I don't know, a marriage counselor? He'd be like, yeah, I've been thinking, and you seem like interesting people, and I gotta tell you, freak out, let me tell you something. What your problem is honesty, because dishonesty and infidelity can drop a flying elbow on even the happiest of marriages. But I gotta tell you, I've been thinking, and if you are honest with her and she is honest with you, you will become the world tag team champions of your ring. And I'm not talking about the one on her finger, because all that will remain is the love. Oh, yeah. And I'm Pete Sakaris. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Pete Sakaris, everyone. That's good advice, too. That Miss Elizabeth was a lucky lady, huh? Hey, you guys ready for your headliner?